This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some big update to share with you with inflation giving financial hardships to most Americans. What is being done about it? Well, we're hearing $2,000 stimulus check push on one level. We'll also talk about the federal level as well. But should the money that is being sent abroad be used for our own country? I'm going to play a video clip from Rand Paul talking more about that. On a state level, there's $1,500 checks going out, and it'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend and can't believe that it is 9/11 again. I'm sure we all remember where we were back in 2001. I was going to high school in Long Island, New York, and it was a crazy time because we knew a bunch of people, kids whose parents were in the building, a lot of people from my area. Really sad time, crazy to think about, but never forget. And yeah, my heart goes out to all the families affected by that. Back to the news here. So most Americans now say they are feeling the sting of inflation in their finances. More middle-income American households earning $48,000 to $89,000 annually are struggling now compared to last November, according to a poll saying that 56% is up from 49% in January and 45% in November of 2021. It includes 12% of respondents who described the hardship as severe and 44% who called it moderate. So based on your financial hardship, is it severe, moderate? Let me know down in the comments below. I think everybody is struggling to some degree here. They're even saying people who make up to $200,000 a year are struggling. Although if you make $200,000 a year, you're doing pretty good at something. But what aid is being done for the American people? Well, with that Inflation Reduction Act that came out, it might help a bit, but is it enough? So Biden's inflation law offers up to $14,000 for home upgrades. Here's how to qualify. So yes, it does come with up to $14,000 if you want to make a few modifications to your house, maybe get an electric vehicle, but it's not giving direct aid. It's not going to directly help utilities, food bills, medication, things like that. So the $14,000, I did go over more specifically how that works. There's home rebate programs, high efficiency electric home rebate act. So there's a few things there. But what about aid directly to the American people? Well, we're seeing it on a state level. To buffer inflation, Pennsylvania governor renews call for $2,000 payments again. So he's constantly trying to renew this push for $2,000 checks, saying, let's put this cash back in the pockets of Pennsylvanians to help cover higher costs of gas, groceries, and everything else, said Governor Wolf, saying this money will make a life-changing difference for families and communities across the Commonwealth, providing a much-needed buffer against prices that are artificially and temporarily higher due to inflation. So yeah, wants to put this money that is just sitting in a bank account into the people's pockets of Pennsylvania. $2,000 checks. Could this be done in other states? Well, there's still a lot of other states that have reported that their stimulus money that came from the American Rescue Plan is still sitting in a bank account. And even Bernie Sanders, a while back, presses Joe Biden on $2,000 stimulus checks, saying promises must be kept. There's around $700 billion still in an account that could be used to give out checks if they wanted to, or some other financial aid to Americans who are struggling the most. But are they doing it? Unfortunately not. They're spending their money in other ways, which I'll get to in one moment. But when it comes to other state stimulus checks, stimulus payment, which state will be able to receive up to $1,500 in the coming weeks? So this is the state's Department of Revenue has been sending out this check in Colorado. So according to this tweet here, students, don't miss out on your $750 tax rebate. Whoops. All Colorado tax filers are eligible for $750 tax rebate this year, but only if you file by October 7th. So this is $750 for individuals, $1,500 for couples. This isn't just for students. That was just an announcement for the students. But yeah, if you live in Colorado, it looks like $750, $1,500 checks there. But what about help to all Americans? What is being done about that? Well, Republican Rand Paul blasts D.C. priorities, saying no one hit by severe Kentucky floods, asked me to send more foreign aid, referring to the money that's going to Ukraine. Should that money that has been sent to Ukraine and continually sent to Ukraine, should that be used to help out the American people? especially those who are struggling the most financially? Or is it a good idea to send it out to Ukraine because it's going to help out a bigger picture? Well, here is what Rand Paul thinks about that. And let me know your thoughts if you agree or disagree.
More than past elections, this one really is about common sense and the left's utter rejection of it. Do you agree?
Yeah, and the thing is there's an enormous disconnect between those in Washington and those on the ground. Like in Kentucky, we lost 40 people to severe flooding recently in eastern Kentucky. Hundreds of homes were lost, and I was just out there. Not one person said, can you please send more money to Ukraine? They said, how come we're a rich country and we're having trouble digging our ditches, repairing our roads, and all of the basic functions of government, and yet the politicians in Washington want to send another $13 billion. After they send this $13 billion, we'll send over $50 billion to Ukraine. And people in eastern Kentucky are saying, how come we can't repair our bridges? How come we can't repair our roads? And so I find nobody in Kentucky coming up and say, please send more of our money overseas. And yet in Washington, it's not just Democrats. You got Democrats and all the Republican leadership lining up and saying, please send more of our money to Ukraine. But I'm not hearing it at home at all.
Now, you talk about that disconnect, Senator, and today President Biden unveiled one of his new so-called accomplishments.
Made in America is no longer just a slogan. Earlier this year, I went to Lockheed's factory in Alabama. They're making the Javelin missile that we're supplying to Ukraine.
Senator, how does the production of Javelin missiles for Ukraine help Americans, I guess, except the Americans at the factory, I guess?
Yeah, I've never really been big on looking at arms programs as jobs programs. I think that our weapons are uniquely owned by the taxpayer, even if private organizations make these. And when they shouldn't be something that's like, oh, well, let's give more weapons to create jobs by, getting involved in more wars overseas. No, we don't really have the money to do this. We're $30 trillion in the hole, and it's inflationary. You borrow more money to buy weapons, it also causes inflation. And so really what I hear still around Kentucky and around the U.S. is my gas costs so much, we can't go on vacation this year. The groceries cost so much. I'm a senior citizen. My check is getting thinner and thinner. I can't afford to do the things I want to do because of inflation. And they all instinctively know this is from the massive debts, the massive borrowing, and the huge COVID lockdowns and all the mistakes that were foisted upon us by Democrats, by Biden, by the Democrat Congress. And so I think there's a huge wave building. I really still think there's a huge wave building
I do too.
Of discontent, and people are going to want to throw the bums out who have caused all this inflation.
So what are your thoughts on that? Should the money that is being sent abroad, not just to Ukraine, but other countries around the world, should that money be used to help out Americans who are struggling the most first, and then money go out? Should it not go out at all? Where do you stand on all that? Let me know your thoughts when it comes to other things going on in Congress. So looks like Manchin's big energy deal draws pushback from many Democrats. So I mentioned this the other day, that looks like the promise that Chuck Schumer made to Manchin might be put in the big stopgap bill, the omnibus, the one that has to pass in order for the government not to be shut down. But now Democrats are saying that they might shut it down, but it's also an election year. So things are going to unfold a lot this week. Stay tuned for that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, how are you doing? Hi guys, how are you doing? I want to give you 3 things of the tip of the day. So first off, be happy, be grateful, and be humble. And then I want to do one more thing to you. Do the things that you want to do in a lifetime. Guys, you guys can do whatever you want, at least if you want to do it. Because I'm here for you. You guys like us.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. It is a rainy Sunday, and we're probably just going to hang out. Our daughters had a sleepover, had their friends sleep over our place. So making this video a little later than usual. We had breakfast, making French toast for all the girls and stuff. And yeah, it's been a good, fun, busy morning and day. So now we're just finally resting a bit. But hopefully you have a great rest of your weekend. If you want to check out any of my other videos on my other channels, you can click right up here. and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.